me talk to y'all for a minute, man. I turned this podcast rap show to a business. Refugee been hustling for years since I
still bullish on gold.
Today I want to tell y'all about an exciting opportunity that I kind of came across.
So beyond that, I just kind of want to give you guys an update in terms of how my investments did last year. So I did some sort of a recap on how my investments did last year. This is the lesson that I want to kind of pass on in this podcast today. Is really, and I want to make it pretty short, sweet, and succinct, but really just, this is a game that's won over time. And it's won with just a pretty basic set of rules that seem basic, but they're hard to follow in reality if you can't get your head around that sort of discipline. So I want to kind of just impart on the idea of just like long-term thinking and dollar cost averaging and all that sort of average stuff that people talk about. You know, a lot of that stuff, buying for the long term, a lot of that stuff actually does work. You know, and I'm not saying I'm a testament to that working necessarily, but I'm a testament of the opposite working against me, right? So I did a calculation of all my investments over the past year of 2025. This is a 2025 investment wrap up. And I mean, the amount of positions I was in, the amount of things I was in, the amount of investments I was making, the amount of losses I took was really apparent. Sure, I had some wins too, but all in all, I made about $1. I made $1 in investing last year. Would you believe that? That's my P&L, and that's not including. That is not including. See this right here, $1.37. That is not including fees, calculated, all that sort of stuff. So I'm probably negative on the year. And the reason for that is there's quite a few reasons, but I'm going to boil it down to just a few. Too many positions, too many oversized positions, too many emotional decisions. Just treating this like a casino, you know? Buffett said that in one of his interviews. He's like, when I went to the casino, I knew I was going to get rich. And it's true, because people treat this like a casino. They treat this like a casino, and that's why they lose. Because this is not meant to be a casino. You look at this like owning a part of a business. And just because people can trade this thing in and out and on a daily, weekly, and on a per second basis, does not mean that somebody should treat this thing like that. And the fact that people can treat it like this makes it a very easy game to gamble on, but it makes it a very hard game to actually make money on if you're playing it like some sort of casino. So the idea is to buy something, hold it, and just buy it over time. And that was very evident looking back at my positions over the past year. It's like, why is it that I have 20, 30 plus positions, and some positions I was taking oversized positions on, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, knowing damn well that I couldn't afford to make that sort of investment at the time. And it didn't make sense using margin, leverage. That was another lesson I took recently. Using large leverage and margin accounts and derivatives and the weapons of mass destruction, you know? I fell into the trap. And this is just learning lessons you learn as you stay in the game long enough. But, you know, and luckily I'm pretty proud of the fact that the amount of positions I took, I still was able to walk away with a quote-unquote dollar, say on an EBITDA basis. I didn't even say that before. I'm saying a gross margin. I don't even know if you want to call it that, but before real expenses are calculated. So, yeah, just long story short, is the idea is that this shouldn't be treated like a casino. It should be treated as something that you should want to hold over time. And that's what I learned looking over this. This isn't something to be, that's what people trade it, and there's games and rules around that stuff, but that's not what I got into this thing for. So it's not the way I want to treat this game. It's not the way I should treat this game. It's not the way I want to proceed moving forward. So that's something I'm just kind of like being very aware of. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you want to make more than $1, don't listen to me in terms of how I actually invest my own money. Now, when it comes to other people's money, I'm pretty prudent with other people's money, right? So if somebody is in a situation where they have savings, and I know they have ample savings, or expenses, they make more than what they spend, and they have some sort of a savings, and they want to invest it over a long period of time, I'm pretty good with putting people in an investment that I think is going to grow over time. Pretty good at that. And I think it's been pretty evident with the portfolio that I was quote unquote managing, not regulatory compliant to manage portfolios like that, but it was something I was just kind of testing out the waters with in terms of some of these brokers that I was directing them with. And we did pretty well. And so I know that I'm able to put somebody in a position that can do well over time. I know gold and silver is having a slump recently. Over the long term, I'm not too concerned about it. The stock market's having a bit of a slump, so it's just bumps in the road and buying opportunities, if anything. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And yeah, again, just to let you guys know, month and a half, this is what I'm going to be focusing my time on. Once summer hits, spring summer hits, I'm going to be focusing back on music and creative stuff. So just expect, I may do the podcast, but I may do them less frequently. But the idea is to at least be able to do these once a week in the meantime. So maybe even twice a week if I can pump these out. So that's kind of the idea. So I appreciate you guys. Long-term thinking over short-term thinking. Don't treat it like a casino. Peace.
Let me talk to y'all for a minute, man. I turned this podcast rap show to a business. Refugee been hustling for years.
Still bullish on gold.
Today I want to tell y'all about an exciting opportunity that I kind of came across.